To all the Asian Americans that are staying silent about what's happening in LA, you think you're safe because you're not Hispanic? Think again, because who do you think they'll come after next? Just remember, you're not white. Those maggots, they don't want you here either.
I decided to actually check out what Asian Americans has to say about what is going on. Let me see if this deportation is also affecting them. Then I was able to put up some stitches where Asian people are still, complaining and getting affected as well. I'm just going to roll the clip as well as some of all the stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video, and please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We're just here for educational and informative purposes. Alright lovelies, let's dive into it.
If you are Vietnamese American and you are actively staying silent and actively avoiding conversation and discussion about the ICE raids, you are a disappointment to literally your family and everything that your family has gone through to put you in that privileged space where you are right now. I'm saying this as a Vietnamese American. Your grandparents and parents sacrificed so much for you to just stay silent when families are being split apart.
Need I remind y'all, not even 50 years ago, America has split our families too.
You are actually a terrible human being. The American dream was not given to us by America. It was off of the hard work and labor of our people. That experience is not Vietnamese exclusive. It is also prevalent in the Arab communities, in the Mexican communities, and just in the immigrant communities. Oh my God. ICE is after us. They're in our backyards, they're in our homes, and they're taking away our relatives from us.
I'm gonna get some stuff off my chest, so excuse me, but I think that the argument, I think immigrants should stay in the US because they do the jobs that I don't want to do, is really weird and very Kelly Osbourne of you, and I think that rhetoric kind of needs to stop because these are people's lives we're dealing with. This is a father, a mother, somebody's baby, and they're being handled in the most inhumane and cruel way possible. It has nothing to do with you. You care about them because you're a good person. I also, again, you should be caring about this because it's hurting people and you are a good person that does not want to see people get hurt. But I also believe that if you're a content creator or if you're an influencer that looks like me, resembles me in some way, and you're not speaking about what's happening right now, I think you're weird and I think you're a loser, and I'm sorry to say that, but you know what's happening here. It's happened since the minute our ancestors stepped foot in America. The model minority does not exist in a country that thrives on fear-mongering and racism. Because the minute everyone's gone, then who's left? Us? I sincerely doubt it. As close in proximity as you want us to be to whiteness, we will never be. We'll never be one of them. Again, you should care about this because you're a good person and you don't want to see other people get hurt. But who's to say it's not us? Who's to say we're not next? Who's to say it's not our grandparents, our parents that can't speak the language, that can't defend themselves, that weren't taught to defend themselves or be loud? Who's to say that they're not next? I will never understand Asian Americans that do not stand in solidarity with other minorities and other affected groups in this country, because how do you differentiate? How do you tell somebody, I voted for Trump, or I voted conservatively, or I believe what you believe, when you're being zip-tied and thrown in the back of a truck? You can't. So, bluntly put, stand in solidarity. You don't have another choice. We don't have another choice. This is it.
This video is for the Asian American influencers, specifically the ones that use Asian accents for views and clout. And I'm going to apologize in advance for all the expletives that I'm about to say, but I've been brewing and holding this in for months now, since the last season of Squid Games dropped, when there was an actual political turmoil in South Korea when they went on Netflix's dime. And even though it literally applied perfectly to the whole plot of Squid Games, not a single one of them spoke out about it, but I'm drawing the line here. Because what do you mean? You're literally putting on wigs and outfits to mimic your immigrant Asian fathers and mothers, using their accents for views and clout, and all the while you're trying to embody their whole immigrant experience, you're watching people getting taken away from their families by ICE, illegally and unconstitutionally, by the way, and you're not connecting the dots and humanizing these people because they could be your own mother, father, and family. I mean, they are literally raiding elementary schools ripping children away from their families. And you're sitting there posting and storying about going to travel and going to premieres right now. Are you fucking serious? Because who do you think relates to your immigrant parents' experience or accents enough to follow you, to give you the views that you make your money off of, that you get your brand deals off of? Immigrants and children of immigrants. And we're not talking about the ones that aren't, who literally watch and follow you because they're literally laughing at the accent. So not only are you helping to stigmatize immigrants, but now when your own people, your own followers need your help, you're too busy living your life. Because I guarantee you oh my God, thank you for 3 million followers. Those videos do nothing for your viewers. They do nothing for your viewers. They are only for you. That's crazy, because I see these people who look nothing like me, and all I can think about is how my mother came here as a single parent immigrant and only got to stay in this country because I was fucking born here, and how if my mother still lived in this country, how she could be one of those people who are just being ripped away from my life right now. And you can't even humanize your own followers enough to even do a performative restoring of resources? Are you fucking shitting me? Fuck you. And I hope for your sake that you never, ever need the community for anything in your life, because bitch, we don't fucking know you. Shibai 개새끼.
You're going to be Vietnamese American and think to yourself for even 1 second that Asians are not going to be caught up in all of this. Someone just told me that that was a conversation that they just had with another Vietnamese American, and I will not stand by that ignorance. First of all, it's insane to me that you have to feel directly affected in order to feel empathy for others. Over Memorial Day weekend, 160 community members were deported on a single flight to Laos and Vietnam. ICE is already present in Orange County, Little Saigon. To those who didn't care before, do you now? Do you understand now? They're in our backyard. It makes me indescribably angry, and I am not good with words. To know that Vietnamese Americans don't care about what's happening when our own community came here only 2 generations ago. I wish I could articulate my words better, but it's just time for people to wake the hell up and stop being ignorant.
Alright, PSA, I just want to let you guys know some of this video might piss some of you guys off, and what I'm going to be talking about is off personally from my own experiences as growing up as a Socal Asian for all my life. I've grown up with Hispanic people all my life, and it saddens me that Trump is doing this with ICE, and I'm really happy that the people here are standing up to do protests, but it saddens me that not more Asian influencers from Southern California or that live in Socal aren't doing much to help. They are just continuing on with their day and posting their matcha, their outfit of the day, or what they're doing in general. And I know this might sound critical of me, because I literally post the same kind of shit, but they have way bigger followings, and they're not doing anything for the people, for all the Hispanic community here. Because I've grew up around Hispanic people. Most of my friends growing up were Hispanic people. All my teachers, co-workers, for the most part, everyone is Hispanic. I've grown up, I've lived with Hispanic people just as much as I lived with Asian people in the Asian community, and I don't understand why they aren't speaking up. You have a following. People will listen. People won't listen to me. I'm just a dude posting this, just trying to help out. But you literally have hundreds or thousands of followers, or millions maybe, and you're not doing a thing when you live in Southern California, when people right now could be taken away. You're not speaking up. I know it's scary to speak up, but please, I encourage you, I implore you, do something. Like, don't let the people that you grew up with, or the people that helped you, get taken away. We can't call LA our home when we're not doing something to help or save the people that built this place. We are lucky to be in Southern California. We are lucky to have the privilege of saying, oh yeah, I'm from Socal, or I'm from LA, or I'm from OC, or be able to go to places like San Gabriel, LA, all of those places, or Santa Monica, and Cerritos. All of them have Hispanic origin. The land we live on is, for the most part, Mexican land from Mexico. So I don't know why we aren't doing more to help them when we have such a close tie to them. Tell me why it doesn't concern you. As children of first-generation immigrants, we know some of their struggles. We've seen what they've been through, and we can relate. Why shouldn't we help out? We shouldn't just rely on these movements started by other people in LA and just ride off the coattails and benefit from them without us doing something for the people as well.
The model minority myth has cast a spell on East Asian and certain Southeast Asian communities in this country. The notion that we're inherently better, or our culture and our values are better than other people of color. The proximity to whiteness and the delusion that we are somehow a part of this American exceptionalism makes it so easy for your racist uncle to say at the dinner table, I'm okay with immigrants as long as they all do it legally like we did. Specifically for the Vietnamese diaspora, that previous statement is just so dissonant when you realize most of us came here on a boat, with most of them immigrating to the country that destabilized their home in the first place. Black and brown people try to do that after you go to a new country to make a better life for themselves. All of a sudden, they're all murderers. They all trying to steal our jobs, sucking up your hard-earned tax money. Your uncle's emboldened to speak that way and think that way because in his mind, we're the model minority. If we can do it, they can do it too. And that uncle raises children to have that same delusion, and those children grow up to be apathetic. And it's no surprise that a large concerning chunk of the Vietnamese community in America swing right. Reaganism has diaspora boat people in such a chokehold, and the anti-blackness, the colorism, and the buying into the model minority myth, it's no wonder your uncle hates immigrants. As dissonant as that sounds, like this oxymoron can only exist because the model minority myth is like a pillar that upholds the sentiment that we are the exception, we are not included with them. But in reality, if great-great-grandpa from Guangzhou were to have immigrated when he was alive, he would have been blown up on those railways. Like, I can understand how my parents' generation has been brainwashed, but I'll never understand why they don't think everyone has the right to the pursuit of happiness in this country.
Some of you may know that my father was deported when I was 17, and I was homeless for about a year and a half because of it. What is going on right now is absolutely terrifying, and I cannot believe that it's still happening all these years later, and I feel like it'd be a disservice for me not to speak out about it, but I also want to shed light on some certain things that are going on right now. First of all, I would like to preface this by saying thank you so much to everybody who has been speaking out on behalf of the Latin community. If you are in a position to speak out about what's going on right now, please do so, as the Latin community has members that are putting themselves at risks if they speak out. I would like to point out that there is a dangerous rhetoric being spread right now that, while it may have good intentions, can jeopardize a lot of immigrants. There are a lot of immigrants here in America that are under DACA, under asylum, applying for status, applying for a green card. And it is a very dangerous time right now to be forcing people to speak out about things when we don't know their status. There are so many people that wish that they could speak out right now, but they are not in a position to do so without being deported. I'm not talking about the creators who are purposefully ignoring what is going on right now, but I am talking about other people who unfortunately are also grouped in with that bunch who simply cannot speak out about it. So please, let's have empathy and compassion for those who just simply cannot speak out right now. Like I said, my father was deported. I know how it feels. I don't wish that on my worst enemy. And for somebody who is trying to avoid that, to be silent is not complacent, it is protection. So on behalf of those people who cannot speak out right now, please use your privilege to speak out on their behalf. Use your voice. Vote for them. Celebrate our culture, celebrate our people, and thank you so much for speaking out on our behalf right now.
I don't know who this is going to reach, but if you're Asian or Asian American living in America through these times and you're not fazed or you're choosing to be uninvolved, let me tell you why you should care. First of all, the US did have concentration camps for Asian people at some point, and I'm realizing that that is not common knowledge. And there's a reason, probably, why it's not common knowledge. My point is, though, you can't put it past them. Second of all, I don't like saying this because it feels very transactional, but I'm going to say it anyways. If we keep going the way we are, they will inevitably start mass detaining and deporting Asian people. And there will literally be no one left to stand up for us. And finally, the day that that does happen will probably be the scariest day of our lives. Don't let it also be the most regretful day of your life.
I probably cry at least once a day when I see videos of what's going on with ICE, what's going on with Palestine. And I think about how it's easy to numb ourselves. And self-care is very important because we still have to function in our everyday life, go to work, show up and do our best because we've got to take care of our own families. But the reason why I wanted to make this video is because I'm hoping that the people within my vicinity and my community, I hope that you don't turn away from what's happening just because you feel like you can't make a difference, or just because you think that there's nothing that you can do or it has nothing to do with you, because it has everything to do with us. Especially because I know so many of my community members want to be parents or are parents, and we've been very intentional about not having kids right now. And a part of it is because I figured out things medically that was going on with me, but also I wasn't purposefully trying because of our circumstances, and also it just doesn't feel like the right time right now. And I really think it's because I love children. My first job was at a daycare, and I remember my childhood very vividly. And I believe everyone that says that they want kids and they want to raise them and be in a world where they have all the possibilities in the world. But knowing that right now families are being broken apart, how could you not say anything? It's scary because people do feel like they will get in trouble. There will be repercussions. Not every one of us have been born in the States. Maybe some of us are naturalized. Some of us have green cards as Asians or Asian Americans within my community. But we cannot say we love children and we care for lives if we don't say something about what's going on right now. Families are being ripped apart. Hardworking people who are really trying to make a better life are being kidnapped. And people who have lived here their whole lives are being told that they don't belong here. I want my friends to please be mindful of what's happening and don't turn away. And if the opportunity comes where you could help somebody, please do, because that is someone's child, that is someone's parent, that is someone's family member, that is a human, and that could very much be you.
So I saw this on Twitter yesterday, and it's absolutely true, and I'll read it to you. It says, if undocumented immigrants are lazy freeloaders, then why are the ICE raids happening at their jobs, using employment data that they got from the tax payments that they made to the IRS? And it's seldom that I comb the more degenerate parts of the internet, but the comment section to this post was absolutely disgusting. I'm just going to read through the comments, and we're going to address them one by one. One is perhaps the most earnest, but someone said, how do undocumented immigrants have tax payments to the IRS? And here's how. You do not need a social security number to pay taxes. You need a social security number to access social security benefits. And you can only have one of those if you are a US citizen. So the way that undocumented immigrants pay taxes is that they apply for a taxpayer identification number. And this report was pulled from the ITEP, and the ITEP is the Institute of Taxation and Economic Policy. And it says undocumented immigrants paid $96.7 billion in federal, state, and local taxes in 2022. And I've already mentioned this, but the economic group in this country that is most likely to commit tax evasion are this nation's millionaires and billionaires, not undocumented immigrants. So that answers that. Let's move on to the next comment, where someone says many of them are working, but they still are getting food stamps, healthcare, housing assistance, and welfare payments given to them. They are still leeching off of the citizen tax-funded programs. This is taken from the same study. This was bullet point 3, but it says more than a third of the tax dollars paid by undocumented immigrants go towards payroll taxes dedicated to funding programs that these workers are barred from accessing. Despite paying for them, undocumented immigrants are largely ineligible to access majority of federal assisted programs. We're just going to do one more comment because I'm running out of time, but someone said they entered the country illegally and are working here illegally. We have the process that affords them the opportunity to seek entry into the US. They should just use it as it was designed and written. Do you know where these ICE raids are happening? They're showing up at immigration courts. Pay attention to the news. Look at all these headlines. Like, pause to read. So these people are already complying with the legal court process. This happened last month. Juan Serrano is a 28-year-old Colombian migrant with no criminal record. He showed up to his court date The judge told him he was free to go, and as soon as he left the courtroom, he was detained by ICE officers. Honestly, I could continue to read through comments till I'm blue in the face. It's far easier to cling on to misinformation than to do the internal work of unpacking your racial biases, because that would mean that you'd have to face the facts that you might not be a good person.
I seriously love this. With all of the things going on with ICE raids, California, LA, and all of that, I decided to check up on Asians because they also contributed with whatsoever that is going on. We can still remember that they actually voted. I think about 60% of them actually have a hand in whatsoever that is going on, and it happens that most of them are also having an emotional and mental breakdown. So many of them, which this deportation is happening, so many people were like, okay, it's as if this deportation was just affecting Hispanic and Latino people, but it happens that Asian people also have their own thirsts. Like, everyone is getting affected left, right, and center. Everyone who contributed with all of the things going on is getting affected one way or the other. And the thing is that it was said that, I think I posted the video, I staged the video one time where Asian Americans are still complaining to the fact that Orange Man is blocking any form of immigration or visa, especially if you're an international student coming from these countries like Asian countries. Your visas and co are not gonna be as easy as the way it used to be before. Like, it's as if they're even going to ban these people from coming to the country. So everyone is getting affected one way or the other, and it still boils down to what people that looks like me have been trying to say for a very long time. I will keep on talking about it. I will keep on saying it so that in the nearest future, people will really need to think things through before they decide to take any decision. I can vividly remember, during affirmative action, Black people have always been the ones on the receiving end. Black people have always been the one helping every other person. But when it's the time for people that looks like me to get help from every other person, oh my God, nobody wants to get associated. Oh my God, they have to face themselves. Black people are still going to, stand down. 92% are still standing down, and they will continue to do so. No matter how they want to gaslight, no matter how they want to drag Black people like generator, they are not going to, we all have human feelings, human sympathy. Nobody likes whatsoever the thing that is going on. Nobody likes that. But that does not mean that it will give room for people that look like me to go out there. Whosoever that is involved with whatsoever thing that is happening, you are in the right position to fix it. 92% is still standing down. 92% is still resting. They are still resting. They are on vacation with Kamala Harris because these people tried their best to warn you. But you still did the same thing during affirmative action. I actually thought that during the time of affirmative action is going to get Asian people more specifically to think through. You guys also faced discrimination, even if you guys were still used as a tool to oppress people that looks like me. But you're still not. You are still not gonna have a pass. You're not gonna get a pass. They don't care. They don't care. What I care about is how to maintain a particular supremacy. That is all. The highest thing that you are going to be used for is a tool to get people that look like me on a particular position, which they have used even according to history. Asian Americans have been a tool to use against people that look like me. That's always been a thing. I don't like whatsoever that is going on right now. I don't like all of the raids. I don't like all of the humiliations. But I think this period of time is a period of lesson. People are being taught a lesson. And if you refuse to learn with all of the things going on, and you're a minority, and you are being affected one way or the other, and you still refuse to learn, that means the problem is from you. Because As it is, people that looks like me are still standing on business. They want to focus more on themselves. They want to focus more on building themselves, creating generational wealth. It's a must to do that, because enough people that looks like me are rising. They are rising. They have been oppressed for a very long time. So it's actually time for them to focus more on themselves. Anyway, lovelies, and just leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please, lovelies, if you've not subscribed to this channel, do your girl a huge favor to click on the subscription button, like, share, and I will see you, lovelies, when I upload the next one.